Welcome to Jackie Wall Studio and the Crochet for Absolute Beginners video. Please like and subscribe and connect with me on social media for all the latest updates. In this video, we will cover what you need to begin, yarn basics, reading the yarn label, how to hold your hook, the slip knot, using your yarn, holding your yarn, and how to chain. You don't need much to get started in crochet. Obviously, you'll need some yarn, you'll need the appropriate sized hook for the yarn, and you'll need a scissor. It also comes in handy if you have a yarn needle. This one is metal. They also come in plastic. This will help to tie in your ends. And as you progress, you will probably need some stitch markers. You can buy stitch markers, or if you have some safety pins of different colors and different sizes around the house, you can use those. Let's take a moment to talk about yarn. The yarn I'll be using in the video today is 100% acrylic. Acrylic and polyester yarns are very popular as they're normally easy to care for, also easy to use, and come in a wide variety of colors and textures. They're great for afghans, for sweaters, and also for hats and scarves. Another type of yarn I like to work with is 100% cotton yarn. The cotton yarns are great for summer projects and also for baby projects because they are hypoallergenic. They also aren't very elastic, so they're good for bucket hats and for totes. If you're looking for something a little bit warmer, wool or wool blend yarns are very popular as well. These two are 100% wool. This one is worsted, so it's a little bit more processed than this one here, which is a roving wool, and it is a little bit more natural than the worsted wool is. This is a bulky, so it is really great for toques and those bulkier projects. And this one here too is good for sweaters and for hats and scarves. It's important to understand the yarn label in order to choose the appropriate yarn for your project. So let's take a look at this label. This one has no dye lot. Now this is important because moving forward, I do not have to worry that if I run out of this particular color, country blue, that I won't be able to find it again. It has no dye lot, so I can be assured that every time I need to match this specific color, I just have to look for country blue. If you do choose a yarn that has a specific dye lot, you want to make sure that you get enough of that dye lot to finish your project. Because even though the color may be close, it will not be exactly like that dye lot, and so you may have slight color variations within your specific project. Now let's take a look at what is underneath that. This is a medium yarn, a number 4. And right here, it shows me this is the knitting gauge and the knitting needles that I will require. However, I am crocheting, so let's move over here. This tells me I need a 5mm crochet hook, or here's the alternative. If you have a different standard hook, mine is a 5mm, but you can also look for US, H/, or an 8. So this is telling me that if I crochet 13 single crochets, so SC is single crochet, and 14 rows, I will, or I should, end up with a 4x4 inch or a 10x10 centimeter square. So this helps you to determine your gauge, and when you do take a look at a pattern, you will want to see what their gauge is and make sure that you do the sample gauge for your project. You can always change your hook in order to change your gauge, but you want to make sure if there is a project that has a specific size that your gauge is going to match your project's gauge. Moving on, we have the care instructions, and this one is machine washable and dryable. It's 100% acrylic. The net weight of this size of a ball of yarn is 6 ounces or 170.1 grams. It has 315 yards or 288 meters, which is also important because sometimes your pattern will specifically tell you what the yardage is for your project or how many meters that you will need for your project. Now let's just take a look at this one here. This is the bulkier yarn, so it's a number 5, and it still has the 4 by 4 inch or the 10 by 10 centimeter square gauge, but this one you would need a 6mm hook to get that square, and you would only need 10 single crochets and 11 rows. Now that I've read my label and I know I need a 5mm hook, I am going to talk about how to hold the hook. There are 2 ways that most people hold a hook. One is the pencil hold. So it's basically just holding it like you would a pen or a pencil. Or the hold that I prefer and that I use is the knife hold. So it is the same as if you were holding a knife. When using your yarn, I do prefer to take the end that's in the center of the yarn. This can be difficult sometimes because it's buried deep and you can get tangles when you're trying to find it. So it is also totally fine to just pull the sleeve back and find this end as well. The most important thing that you are going to want is to make sure that you've got enough yarn, that you've got some slack, so that you're not fighting with pulling this out, because it can sometimes be frustrating and impact the consistency of your stitches. The easiest way to start a crochet project is with a slip knot. So here I'm going to show you a couple different ways to make a slip knot. The first is you'll lay your yarn flat on a surface, and then you will basically make a P, the letter P, with the tail end down. From here, you're just going to reach through the loop, grab the long end of your yarn, and grab both ends and pull through. And there you have a slip knot. I'll do that one more time. Tail down, make a P crossing the long end of your yarn over top of the short tail end. Reach into that loop and grab the long end and just pull that through, and then hold both ends and pull. You can also make a slip knot by holding the yarn. What you will do is hold your 2 fingers up, put the tail end up, wrap it around your middle finger and over your pointer finger, lay it over across that tail end, and the same thing. You're going to reach through and you're going to hold that tail end. You're going to grab the long end and pull it through that loop, grab both of those ends and pull. So it's the same process. One is just laying it flat, and one is using it between your fingers, wrap around, over top, grab through, and pull through that loop. There are multiple ways for you to hold your yarn while you are crocheting. The most important thing is to find something that is comfortable for you and that allows you to maintain a steady and consistent stitch. What I prefer to use is this hold. So I'm going to hold my hand out and I'm going to wrap the end of my yarn around my pinky finger, across my pointer finger, and around. Then I'm going to hold the bottom of that slip knot. Now my left hand, I am a right-handed crocheter, so my left hand is just going to maintain this hold. It really does not do anything else but maintain this hold and maintain the tension of my yarn. Now we are going to take a look at how to chain. When chaining, you want to make sure that you have a little bit of slack around your hook. So I'm going to put my hook in, and as you can see, I've got a little bit of space around the hook. Then I'm going to push my hook through. I'm going to put it in front of the yarn, which is important. The hook is up. I'm going to pick up that yarn. I'm going to yarn over. This is called yarning over. Turn my hook down and bring it through that loop. Then I'm going to move my middle finger and my thumb up to take hold. Make sure I have a little bit of slack around my needle. push through, pick up my yarn, turn down my hook, pull it through, and turn my hook back up, and then move my fingers up. And this is how you chain. All right. And then you want to have a consistent chain moving forward. All right, so let's do a few more. Push through in front of the yarn, pick up that yarn, pull through. Move your fingers up and do it again. The most important thing is to keep practicing this until you feel really comfortable with it, because consistency is key here. And this is the motion that is the base for every stitch moving forward. So really take the time to consistently get a nice consistent chain, and so that you are really comfortable with the chaining before you move forward to the other stitches. In front, pick it up, pull it through, and do it again. Thank you for watching, and have fun creating.